What does it truly mean to be happy and content? This question, seemingly simple at first glance, unfolds into a myriad of complexities as we delve deeper. Happiness, as we've come to understand it, is often mistaken for fleeting moments of joy. That burst of laughter at a well-timed joke, the thrill of a roller coaster ride, or the satisfaction of a well-cooked meal. But these are moments, ephemeral and transient. Yet, our quest for happiness often revolves around chasing these temporary highs. In this pursuit, we overlook the true essence of contentment, which lies in long-term tranquility and satisfaction. It's about finding joy in the ordinary and the mundane, embracing the ups and downs of life with equanimity. It's about cultivating an inner peace that remains unshaken by external circumstances. So let's unravel this intricate concept of happiness together. Remember, happiness isn't a destination, but a journey. Science has a lot to say about happiness and contentment. Let's dive into the world of scientific studies and research surrounding happiness. Numerous studies have explored this elusive concept, and some fascinating findings have emerged. One such discovery has been the intriguing link between happiness and physical health. It turns out that those who report higher levels of happiness tend to enjoy better health, with fewer illnesses and a longer lifespan. This connection isn't merely coincidental, but rather it's a testament to the powerful interplay between our mental and physical states. Now let's take a journey into the realm of neuroscience. Our brains are complex chemical factories, constantly producing a cocktail of hormones and neurotransmitters that influence our mood. Among these, certain chemicals stand out as the primary happiness-inducing substances. These include dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. Each plays a unique role in creating feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and joy. Dopamine, often called the reward molecule, is released when we achieve a goal or experience something new and exciting. It's the rush you feel when you accomplish something challenging or indulge in a favorite activity. Then we have serotonin, a neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood, appetite, and sleep. Higher levels of serotonin are associated with a more positive mood and a sense of calm. Next up is oxytocin, also known as the love hormone. It's released during social bonding, like hugging a loved one or playing with a pet. It promotes feelings of trust, empathy, and connection. Finally, we have endorphins, our body's natural painkillers. They are released during physical activities like exercise, helping to create a sense of euphoria, often referred to as the runner's high. So what does all this mean for us? It means that certain activities such as exercise, spending time with loved ones, achieving goals, and even enjoying a good meal can stimulate the production of these happiness-inducing chemicals in our brains. So, science shows us that happiness is not just a state of mind, but also a state of body. What factors contribute to our feelings of happiness and contentment? This question has intrigued philosophers, psychologists, and ordinary people for centuries. One crucial factor that contributes to our sense of joy is relationships. Human beings are social animals, and our bonds with family, friends, and romantic partners provide us with a sense of belonging and acceptance. Being part of a community, having those who genuinely care about us, and caring for others in return can significantly enhance our sense of happiness. Yet, relationships aren't the only source of joy. Personal achievements, such as reaching a goal or mastering a new skill, can also provide a profound sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. This kind of happiness arises from within and is often associated with a deep sense of self-worth and competence. But what happens when these elements are missing from our lives? The lack of meaningful relationships, personal achievements, or a sense of belonging can lead to feelings of discontentment and unhappiness. The absence of these factors can leave us feeling isolated, unfulfilled, or even worthless. So, how can we foster these elements in our lives? The answer lies in self-growth. By continually striving to improve ourselves, we can cultivate meaningful relationships, achieve personal goals, and develop a sense of belonging. This process involves setting realistic objectives, learning new skills, and nurturing our emotional intelligence. Self-growth also involves learning to appreciate what we have. Often, we are so focused on what we lack that we overlook the good things in our lives. By practicing gratitude, we can shift our focus from what's missing to what's present, leading to a more profound sense of contentment. In conclusion, various factors contribute to our feelings of happiness, including relationships, personal achievements, and self-growth. However, the lack of these factors can lead to feelings of discontentment and unhappiness. But by focusing on self-growth and appreciation, we can cultivate these elements in our lives and enhance our sense of happiness. Happiness, then, isn't about having everything, but about appreciating what you have. Is there a formula to happiness? That's a question that has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and ordinary folks alike for centuries. And while we may not have a definitive answer, we've certainly come up with some intriguing theories. One such theory is the idea of a happiness formula. The happiness formula suggests that our happiness is a combination of three main elements: our genetics, our circumstances, and our intentional activities. Let's break that down. First, our genetics. It's proposed that about 50% of our happiness is determined by our genetics. Yes, you heard it right, 50%. Some of us are naturally more optimistic, cheerful, and resilient, thanks to our DNA. Next up, our circumstances. These account for roughly 10% of our happiness. This includes things like our age, health, income, marital status, and where we live. It's interesting, isn't it? That only 10% of our happiness is tied to these factors that we often place so much emphasis on. Finally, the remaining 40% of our happiness comes from our intentional activities. This is the piece of the pie we have the most control over. It includes how we think, what we do, and how we interact with the world around us. This could be anything from practicing gratitude, fostering social connections, to pursuing meaningful goals. So, what does this all mean? Well, it suggests that while some aspects of our happiness are out of our control, a significant portion of it lies within our grasp. By focusing on the things we can control, like our intentional activities, we can influence our own happiness. While there's no one-size-fits-all formula for happiness, there are steps we can take to boost our chances of finding it. So, let's take control of the 40% and make the most of what we have. After all, happiness is a journey, not a destination. How can we cultivate contentment in our lives? This is a question that many of us grapple with daily. Contentment, a state of satisfaction and peace, is a key ingredient in the recipe of happiness. Let's begin by exploring gratitude. Practicing gratitude is akin to shining a spotlight on the good in our lives. It's taking a moment each day to recognize and appreciate the simple joys: a warm cup of coffee, a friendly chat, the laughter of a loved one. This act of acknowledging what's going right in our lives can shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering a sense of contentment. Next, we have setting realistic expectations. It's easy to get caught up in a cycle of always wanting more, always striving for better. While ambition is admirable, it can sometimes prevent us from appreciating what we already have. By setting realistic expectations, we give ourselves the space to be satisfied with our progress, to find contentment in our journey, not just the destination. Finally, let's talk about self-growth. This is about understanding that we are works in progress. It's about embracing our flaws, learning from our mistakes, and continually striving to be better versions of ourselves. When we focus on self-growth, we find contentment in knowing that we are evolving, that we are moving forward, no matter how slow the pace might be. These strategies, practicing gratitude, setting realistic expectations, and focusing on self-growth, are not about lowering our standards or settling for less. They are about recognizing the value in our lives right now, in this very moment. They are about understanding that contentment isn't tied to external achievements or possessions, but to our perception of ourselves and our lives. Contentment isn't about being satisfied with less, but about being satisfied with being. It's about embracing the journey, cherishing the highs and lows, and finding peace in the present. Because at the end of the day, contentment is not a destination, but a way of traveling. The power of happiness extends beyond just feeling good. It's like a beacon, radiating light and warmth, touching every facet of our existence. When we're happy, we are healthier. Our bodies respond positively to joy, boosting our immune system, reducing stress, and even helping us live longer. Happiness also fuels our productivity. Joyful individuals are more likely to be creative, resilient, and motivated. They find it easier to solve problems, take on challenges, and achieve their goals. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of happiness is its ripple effect. Like a pebble tossed into a pond, our happiness creates waves that reach far beyond ourselves. Our joy can inspire, uplift, and comfort those around us. It can transform a room, a community, and even the world. In this way, happiness becomes more than an emotion or a state of being. It's a powerful force for positive change. Happiness, then, is not just a personal achievement, but a gift to the world around us.